Okay, yes. Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining in on time. So, yeah, if you can hear me, can you just type in hello inside the chat so that I know that you are here? So, very excited today. I'll be sharing with you something that is really, really powerful and something that I have actually gotten to know about, close to almost 7 to 8 years ago. Okay. Yeah. So, this is something that, is something that really, really changed my life. So that is why I wanted to share with you guys. And I think maybe some of you have heard it before, but probably this is very, very new to many of you. And so, yeah, do watch out for what I'm going to share with you in a while. So let's wait for maybe a little bit more people. Let's just wait for about 3 more minutes. Okay, so that more people can actually join in. Hello, Wei Sheng. Yes. We can see your comments. Right. So let's get more people to join in first. Okay, so yep, if you are watching this, just help to give us a thumbs up, give us a like, give us a love, give us a haha. Okay, just press the emoticon button. All right, so today's topic is very, very interesting. So this is gonna be something that is very close to what everybody close to our heart. Achieving financial freedom. So how to actually achieve that? That will be shared later on, just in about 5 minutes time. Okay, in about 5 minutes time, we will be sharing that. Right, and of course, for those of you who have not yet to join our Telegram, the link is actually in the running bar, so you can actually go to the link over there as well. So for those of you who just came in, hi, good to see all of you. Thanks for joining in on time. So just type in a hello inside the chat so that I know who is actually here. Right, we will be starting in about 3 more minutes. All right, and then we will actually share with you. So today, very, very interesting. So the topic today is a little bit special. All right, so of course, we are still going to talk about the stock market, of course, and the opportunity for next week. But I think end of the day, something that is very important to us is that, why are we investing in the stock market? It's because we want to achieve certain things. We want to have time freedom. And why do we want to have time freedom? We want to spend more time with our family. We want to be able to do the things that we want to do. You want to be able to travel without having to worry so much about money. All right, so financial freedom is something that a lot of people want to achieve, and there is actually a formula for you to achieve that. So that is something that I wanted to share with all of you, so that you know exactly what to do, right? And of course, that it is number one, it is definitely highly doable. Hi, Jeffrey, Han Hong, Irene, good to see all of you. Hi, Celine. All right, just keep the hello coming, okay? And of course, if you just came in, just help us with the thumbs up, the heart shape, or the haha button. All right, and we would definitely appreciate you for helping us with that. And yeah, do help us to share this video out as well. All right, so that your friends will also be able to watch this as well. Right, we'll be starting in about 1 more minute. Okay, so 1 more minute, we will actually get started. I think today a lot of people is watching the Olympic Games. Okay, just now they had the 100-meter dash, and I think there was a new winner lah. Okay, I think France or Italy, okay, won the race, and nobody expected him to win, but in this kind of Olympic race, anything can happen lah. So yeah, something that I think very, very interesting. I think something that we want to learn from the Olympic is really nothing is impossible as long as you put your heart to it. As long as you train long enough, okay, one day you will achieve the success. I think that is a very, very great case study from the Philippines weightlifter. Okay. Yes, hi, Linda. All right, we will be starting very, very soon. So if you just came in, help us with the likes, the thumbs out, and of course, just type in hello, so that I know who is watching this. All right, let me know who is watching this. So let me share my screen. Okay. Oh, share screen. Yes, and you should be able to see my PowerPoint. So today we are going to talk about something that is very, very interesting. So how to achieve financial freedom in 10 years. Hello, Eugene. Hi, Damien. Okay, good to see all of you. All right, and I think let's get started, okay? So first of all, thanks everyone for joining in for our Market Watch episode 15. Yeah, it has been some time, okay? So we are doing this almost like a weekly basis. So 15 episode almost means that we are close to about 3 coming to 4 months already. Right. So I hope that you guys have actually been learning a lot of things from this weekly market watch. And of course, I do see that some of you have actually told me that you are making some profits as well. So that is really, really good. So for those of you who are new, okay, so yeah, this is what we do on a weekly basis. Okay, we share with you the market outlook for next week. And every single week, I'll try to put in some additional, learning points so that, this is going to be even more exciting and even more enriching. And of course, last but not least, we are going to end off with a Q&A as per usual. Right, so this is going to be the key format for today's sharing. So of course, before we begin, very, very important, as usual, is to have the disclaimer. So whatever I'm going to share with you today is purely based on personal experience, and also these are based on my personal idea. So make sure that, before you take any recommendation, please do your own due diligence, and got to understand that, definitely there are risks in the stock market. But one thing that's very important is for us to learn how to manage this risk. Great. So for today, okay, let's dive into the key topic. So how to achieve financial freedom in 10 years. Okay, so before I even go to that, okay, can you all just help me to type in how many of you believe, okay, it's okay to give your personal view. How many of you believe that, achieving financial freedom in 10 years is possible? If you think it's possible and you know how to do it, can you just type in possible P? If you think possible but you are not sure, type not sure. If you think it's impossible, type impossible. So let me know possible, not sure, impossible. Okay, so if you think it's possible and you think you know exactly how to do it, type possible. If you think it's possible but you're not sure how to do it, type not sure. If you think it's not possible, type not possible. Okay, fantastic. I see a lot of response. Okay, Damien, type possible. Celine, possible. Bonnie, possible. Okay, let me see from the rest as well. P plus, yes, fantastic. From Jeffrey and Jimmy, P as well. Okay, wow, that's really, really wonderful. Okay, love the crowd. Okay, again, if you are typing impossible, okay, there's nothing against you. So that's why you're here, lah. Okay, so that's why I hope to be able to share with you, in terms of the science of achieving it. Okay, yep. So let's get started. Okay, so like I said, okay, the M2M framework that I'm going to share with you basically consists of two things. Okay, so you can see there's actually two M lah, MM. So the 2M is actually, number one is the mindset, and number two is actually the method. So this is something that I feel that is really, really powerful. And for those of you who have heard of my story before, the first book I read that literally changed my life is written by Robert Kiyosaki and Donald Trump. It's basically Why We Want You to Be Rich lah. So why this book is so powerful is because in that particular book, it also shared with me these two concepts. Number one, first, you need to have the mindset of the rich. The second one is you need to know exactly what is the method, the framework, okay, that can actually help you to achieve the success. So that's exactly the same pretty much format. Okay, but I'm not going to use the thing that is within the book lah. Okay. And of course, last but not least, okay, by applying these two together, okay, that is where you will be able to achieve, the financial freedom lah, which is money lah. Okay, with these two, you can actually achieve money. So first, let's start off with the mindset. Okay, so this is a quote that I personally relate, or I can actually feel it lah. Okay, number one is your world is as big as you make it. Okay, your world is as big as you make it. And of course, in this current context, I just want to put this as not so much of your world, but rather how much money you are able to make, okay, or how much money you are able to accumulate is as big as how much you can actually make it. So what do I mean by this? Okay, so this is the example that I wanted to actually share with you. Okay, so how much money you make is determined by the size of your money jar. Okay, but of course, very important, please understand that there's no physical money jar. This is something that is within our mindset lah. Okay, our mindset, our money jar within our mindset. So I want you to remember when you are still a very, very young kid, let's say you're in primary school, how much money can you actually make, let's say, in a single month? Okay, so I would say that for me, okay, the only way for me to make money was, of course, saving up lah. So based on whatever my parents, the allowance that my parents gave me, maybe I save like 20 cent, 30 cent every single day. And, by 1 month, pretty much if I'm able to save up $10, that is a huge amount. Okay, and what would I do with that $10? Okay, maybe I would use it to buy some country eraser, or maybe I would buy something that I love. But most of the time when we are that young, for me, I'm actually more of a saver. So I tend to save most of my money. Okay, I tend to save most of my money, and I don't really anyhow spend money. And when we actually grow older, oh, okay, this is supposed to be a picture of me slightly older. Okay, so what happened is that, as we reach like a secondary school or poly, that's where, how much money you can actually make on a monthly basis slightly increase. Again, how does this money increase is actually because the allowance that my parents give me is a little bit more lah. So at that point of time, in order for me to save $100 in a single month or maybe in a couple of months, it is possible. Okay, it is possible. So which means that the money jar or that I have within my mind, so having $100 saving, it is pretty doable lah. Okay, so that is when I'm in my teenage years. And subsequently, when I started working, right? So when you start working, your first job, okay, pretty much your pay, it should be around, $1,000. Okay, so which means that is the first time you get to experience making $1,000 in a single month. Okay, making $1,000 in a single month. And of course, for some of you, maybe your first job, you're already making like a $2,000. That's even better. So your money jar is actually much larger at a very, very young age. Okay, so the example that I share with you is pretty much based on my personal experience. All right. So after my first job, I realized, oh, okay, not bad. I managed to save, a lot more money. Okay, so now I'm able to save like $1,000 on a monthly basis. And subsequently, okay, when I was 21 years old, I started my first career as a financial advisor, okay, in Singapore. So that was the time whereby, prior to working in a real physical job, my experience or my money jar was that if I am able to find a job that pays like a 3,000 to 4,000 or somebody that is making $5,000 a month, that is like super, super good. Okay, so my target, when I was in secondary school is when I grow up, when I go out to work, I just want to make about $4,000. I mean, after working for some years, like if I can reach like 4,000, 4,500, that's like, wow, super, super awesome already. Okay, so my job as a financial advisor, one of the things that I really appreciate is it really opens up the horizon. Okay, my money jar immediately increased. Why do I say that? Is because I realized that the people that are working inside, okay, many of the colleagues are working inside, most of their income is above six figures. Okay, that means a year is more than 100,000. So which means that, okay, just by being in that environment, it actually tells me that making five figure in a single month is not impossible. Okay, and of course, with the right effort, with the right strategy, it is also doable. Okay, it is also doable, making five figures in a single month. Okay, which I believe that even up to today, if I ask some of my friends working in the corporate world, ask them, hey, do you think it's possible to make five figures in a single month? Some of them, they still feel that not possible one. There's no way, unless maybe when I'm 40 plus, 50 plus, maybe possible. But to them, it's like this is something that they don't feel that they can achieve. Right. So that was pretty lucky, I would say, for me at that point of time. In my early 20s, my money jar was like, oh, okay, making 10 over 1,000 is possible in that career. And subsequently, okay, I get to actually mix with some of the high performers in the company itself. Okay, that means some of the top producers, some of the top directors. And then I realized that, wow, their income level is almost like $1 million in a single year, which means that they are making almost like a six figures in a single month. Okay, so now I get to know that, wow, actually those that are doing really, really well in that industry, okay, the amount of income that they are making is, wow, it's not five figure. Literally, you can reach a six figure income. Okay, so again, the size of my money jar actually becomes even bigger again. To me, it's like, instead of saying that it is impossible, I know that it is possible. But now, of course, is how can I achieve it? Okay, how can I actually become the top producer? But at least I know that this is something that is literally feasible, and there are people who are actually achieving it. All right. So you realize that, right? Okay. First, in order for you to increase your income, number one is, first you must tell yourself that it is possible for you to achieve it. I think that is something that is really, really important. And that is what I meant by the mindset. So that is why today, by asking you guys, how many of you think that becoming financially free in 10 years is possible? I think the first thing that we want to tell ourselves is definitely this is possible. Okay. But for those of you who feels that, not sure, or no, it's not possible. what is going to very important next is I'm going to share with you exactly how we can actually achieve it, so that it is not just on paper and telling you that it's achievable, but I never show you exactly how to do it. So this is also, something that is very relatable. Let me just remove the So you can see there is actually this thing called the Goldfish principles of growth. Okay, something that when I was doing research, I realized that, hey, this is something very, very interesting. So what is this Goldfish principles of growth? What is it telling you is basically a goldfish can actually grow indefinitely. That means they can actually keep growing. So how big a goldfish can grow, it actually depends on the place that they actually grew up in. So for example, a lot of us, our minds, when we talk about goldfish, naturally we will talk about, a goldfish within this very small jug. Okay, or I call it a bowl. Okay, so which means that the goldfish will pretty much be roughly this size. Okay, so I would say it's small size. But let me show you. Actually, yeah, the size is actually just now on the left hand side. But when I actually went to Google, okay, and I went to search goldfish that is actually being thrown into the wild, okay, into the big pond, or a big pond. Okay, actually the goldfish can actually grow to a gigantic size, okay, like the one on the right hand side. Okay, so that's where I realized that actually this whole theory is very, very real. Okay, which means that how much money you are actually able to make is actually highly determined on the environment that you are actually in. Okay, so if let's say, okay, among your peers, among all of your friends, if most of them are making less than 5 figures, okay, so pretty much you can also see that, okay, in terms of how much money you're making, you realize it is pretty much also close to, the friends or that are closest to you. But if let's say you are always hanging out with people that are making like 5 figures, so literally you realize that, hey, actually after some time, somehow or another, you realize, hey, actually you're also making close to 5 figures, or you might also be making 5 figures subsequently. And in order for you to subsequently make a 6 figures, you realize that, okay, you got to hang around with people who are already making 6 figures on a monthly basis. And after some time, you realize, hey, wow, actually you are also able to achieve a 6 figures income as well. So, just to understand, I realized that environment actually shapes, the money jar, how big it is in our mind. So now coming to the second portion, which is on the method. Okay, how exactly can we achieve financial freedom within 10 years? So this is something that Albert Einstein actually shared. So compounding interest is the eighth wonder of the world. Okay, how many of you have actually heard of this before? If you have heard of it before, can you just type in compound interest? Can you just type in compound interest? Right, so let me illustrate to you what Albert Einstein is trying to say, okay, something that is really, really powerful. Okay, so later I'm going to share with you a calculator, okay, a spreadsheet. So within this spreadsheet, there's actually these three things that we need to understand. Number one is the income. The second one is actually your expenses. And number three is the ROI. How much return are you actually able to generate on a yearly basis? So I want you to actually remember this four number. Okay, so you can help me to type in this four number 2515. Right, so this is not the 4D number. So today is Sunday. So you want to buy today, it's a bit too late. So but maybe you can buy it for next Wednesday. But anyway, no, this is not a 4D number. Okay, so what exactly is 2515 all about? Okay, it's basically in order for you to achieve financial freedom in 10 years, number one, the 25 is you need to invest 25% of your income. Okay, you need to invest 25% of your income, and okay, you need to learn how to generate 15% on your portfolio. So the 25% is basically invest 25% of your income, and the 15 is actually generate 15% on your portfolio, and then you can achieve financial freedom in 10 years. Right, so what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to show you a live demonstration to show you exactly how it works. So allow me to bring up my spreadsheet. Yes, so this is the spreadsheet. Allow me to just zoom in so that y'all can see. So what happened on the left hand side, okay, you will be able to see over here. This is called the financial freedom calculator. So today first prize, is it true or not? Actually, I'm quite curious. Okay, later then I'll check. Yeah. But anyway, okay, as you can see over here, there's three things that you need to key in. Okay, first is the income. The second one is actually your expenses. How much money are you spending on a monthly basis? So basically what is left, right, is basically how much you should invest, okay, which is your financial freedom account. And then the return is 15%, okay, over here. So let me give you a scenario. Okay, so let's say we use somebody with a smaller income. So let's say for somebody who is making $20,000. Okay, so you need to invest 25%. That means out of 20,000, you need to invest 5,000. So that also means that you can spend 75%. So how much is 75% of 20,000? Is actually 15K. So can you see? Assuming that I make $20,000, okay, which is about close to 2,000 a month. This is per year, not per month. Let's say I make 20,000 a year. I spend 15,000 expenses. So the other 5,000 I invest. So let's assume most of us, when we have totally no knowledge about investing or anything about finances, where do we put our money? We put in our money in the bank. So assuming that the bank is giving you a 1% interest, so you can actually see on the right hand side, this is the financial freedom table. So if you see the word keep going, basically it means that you have to continue to work. Okay, so let's see, based on this formula, okay, somebody who invests $5,000 every single year, making 1%, how long does it take for him to become financially free? So you can actually see, okay, up to the end of my spreadsheet, 70 years later, still have to continue to work. Right, so pretty much, okay, it probably take even longer time. So this is definitely not something that we want to achieve. Okay, don't worry, later I will actually share with you guys more about this spreadsheet. Right, so what can we increase? Okay, so you realize that one of the things that is pretty much the easiest to increase is the return. So assuming that today you are able to find an instrument that gives you, let's say, 5%. Okay, let's see what happened. So instead of 1%, you put into 5%, you will be able to see that, hey, wow, actually something magical happened. Instead of, okay, not being able to retire or become financially free, actually just by putting your money in a place that generate 5%, you are able to achieve financial freedom in 29 years. Okay, let me ask you, how many of you think that 29 years is not bad? If you think it's not bad, can you just type in not bad? So, for somebody who actually start working at 20 years old, 29 plus 20 is about 49 years old. I mean, to become financially free by 50 years old, I think to many it's still something that it is pretty desirable, right? Okay, so this is for somebody that is, generating 5% on a yearly basis. And what happens if you're able to generate like a 10%? You realize that the years become shorter. Okay, so now instead of 20 over years, it only takes 15 years. So remember my magic formula. Okay, what if it is 15%? Can you see how many years does it take? Okay, at the end of year 10, actually that is where you will become financially free. Okay, so over here, there's also something important. As you can see, in order for you to become financially free, another way is you have $100,000. Okay, so if let's say today you have $100,000 and you know how to generate 15%, can you see that literally you will become financially free immediately, right? Because using the 100,000 generating 15% on a yearly basis, every year the amount of money that you can generate is enough to cover your expenses. Can you all see that? So that is the whole idea of financial freedom, where your passive income, okay, can actually cover your expenses. So you can see this formula actually applies for even for somebody with a high income. Let's say you make 100,000 on a yearly basis. So 75% you actually can spend it away. So 25,000 you are going to save it. So same based on 15%. Can you see that the formula is still the same? On year 11, you are going to become financially free. So of course, if you are able to save even more, if you are able to spend lesser, so let's say you spend 60,000, what is going to happen is that even better. Can you see? 1 year lesser. Okay, you actually achieve financial freedom 1 year lesser. All right. So why is this very, very powerful? And how can this actually works for people who are relatively older in age? Okay. So let's say if you are somebody in the 40s, okay. So of course we don't expect, another 10, 20 years of working. But what is the difference is that you realize that if you are in the 40s, maybe you already have some capital. Okay, you already have some capital. So can you see over here, let's say you already have 50,000 to begin with lah. So can you see, if I start with somebody with a 50,000, okay, and I start to grow it, can you see, instead of 9 years, now it actually become 6 years. Okay, it's actually become even faster. Right. So this is pretty much something that a formula that you can just key in and actually just go and play around with it lah. But I realized that this is actually very, very powerful. Okay, but there's actually something that is very important over here. You realize that in order for you to become financially free over here, okay, it is something that you need to do over the years. Okay, so which means that every year you need to put in $40,000. Okay, that's number one. And number two is you need to learn how to generate 15%. Right. I'm sure there are some of you, okay, let's say you put in 10,000 into your investment account, and then using that 10,000, you hope that the $10,000 over time will become 100,000 or become $500,000, and then you can retire. Not saying that it is impossible. Of course, we have students that has done, a 5-figure to become a 6-figure portfolio. But again, the probability is not that high lah. Okay, you need certain luck in order for you to become that kind of super high return. But I would say for something that is highly achievable, okay, is something that you do consistently. So every single month, whatever you can afford to invest, okay, you can invest, and you do it consistently over time. So you continue to accumulate. Okay, that's number one. Number two is you got to learn how to generate 15%. And of course, some of you will say, wow, Bowen, what if I can do more than 15%? Is it better? The answer is definitely lah. So let's say you can do 20%. Can you see the amount just becomes smaller and smaller? But I do see that 15% a year is something that is consistent and doable lah. Okay. Of course, in certain years, some of you, some of our students last year, they make like 40%, 50%, but is it consistently every year you can achieve that 40%, 50%? Maybe it's a bit subjective, but I do see that 50% a year, okay, it is definitely very, very much doable. Right. So I hope that, this very simple spreadsheet, okay, would actually give you some idea on how, financial freedom is actually not an art, but rather it is just a simple formula that you just need to know how to do it lah. So I know the question that a lot of you have in your mind right now is, Bowen, yeah, I know what you say makes sense lah, okay, but the magic question right now is, how can I generate that 15% every single year? Okay, if this is something that you have within your mind, can you just type in 15? Okay, can you just type in 15? Okay, so okay, this is what I have shared with you lah. So now you understand that there's a formula to become financially free. So what is the second part of this missing puzzle, right? Okay, so next week, okay, so this week I don't want to drag too long of the time. Okay, so we just keep it here for this week. So next week, okay, I will share with you the exact formula to achieve 15% in the stock market. Okay, and why this is like I said, this is not an art. This is a science. There's a science to it to achieve this 15%. And I'm going to explain to you why this is definitely very much achievable. Okay, so make sure that you stay tuned next week, okay, to listen to this part 2. Okay, but I'm not done with today's presentation yet. So please do not leave this chat. Okay, yeah, so continue to help us with the thumbs up, the heart shape, as well as the help us to like and share if you are learning something so far. So I'm going to go back to the second component of today's sharing, which is the short-term market direction. Okay, yeah. So I know some of you are watching this. You're basically looking forward for this lah. Okay, so that you know exactly what to do next week. So I have actually extracted the chart lah. So as usual, we will always look at these three market. Number one is the S&P 500. The second one is the Dow Jones. Okay, the Dow Jones 30. And the last one is the NASDAQ, which is made up of majority of the tech sector. Right. So I mean the S&P 500, as you can see right now, it is still at an all-time high, pretty much all-time high lah. Okay. And yes, like I said, I do foresee the market to continue to move up higher. Pretty much no change to my take on the market index. And over the last 1 week, okay, something very, very interesting is, not something interesting is happening lah. Okay, but over the last week, okay, this is our earnings week. Okay, our earnings period. So you can see that over the last few days, we have been announcing that, a lot of the companies have released their quarterly earnings. And one thing that we can actually see that pretty much more than 90%, I would say 95% of the company, okay, after they release their earnings, they actually beat the analyst expectation. Okay, which means that actually the company, 95% of the company are actually doing way better than what the analysts are expecting. Okay, so again, why is this happening? I would say it is really the magic of all this money is actually flowing to the company. Although it might not be so obvious as in how the money is actually flowing lah, but we can actually see from the performance of all this company that the economy is actually doing extremely well. Okay, the market is actually doing extremely well. Of course, there will still be certain industry that are highly impacted by COVID. So like restaurants, some of the cruise, some of the travel companies, they are still affected. Even airlines still affected. But other than that, all these companies made up a very small percentage, and I would say that the rest of the company are doing extremely way better than pre-COVID. Okay, way better than pre-COVID. So that's where I do see the market will continue to move up even higher. But definitely, like I said, what happened a week ago, okay, more than a week ago, the kind of drop that is happening, it is possible to happen again. Okay, it is possible to happen again. And I think the last time I did it, okay, I think it was a Monday during the market watch. So that was during this very, very long deep candle. Okay, this candle. Okay. So what happened is that on that particular day, the thing that I actually suggested is for you guys to actually observe and respond. So we say we wait for what is actually going to happen, and then we see how the market actually reacted the next day as well. So I would say that the market has been pretty predictable. Okay, the market has been pretty predictable over the last couple of months. As you can see, okay, all the chart has actually fallen very, very nicely on the red color EMA line. The orange EMA line. Okay, so this is our EMA 50 line. So you can see that this is not by luck, this is not by chance. This is something that we have been seeing this that happens for many, many years. So this is something that we use. So you can see that the candle, okay, touches the orange line. And what happened next? Okay, you can see that the next day, okay, the market will always recover and rebound sharply. Okay, the market always rebound very, very sharply. And you realize what happened is that, right, usually after the big dip, okay, then the recovery, right, is the time whereby the market will push to all-time high. Do y'all realize that? So for example, if you look at this, so the market has been hovering for quite some time, and then suddenly there's a dip. Okay, so in this case, it recovered a bit, another dip. Then the recovery, what happened? The market becomes super bullish. So it starts to go to all-time high. So same thing happened. The market was higher, but getting a little bit weak. Okay, and then there's a bad news. And then what happened after the recovery? Immediately, the next few days, it went to all-time high. And the recent one, exactly the same thing happened. Okay, there was a dip, and then right after the dip, immediately the market went to all-time high. Okay, so there is actually a reason for that lah. Okay, there is actually a reason for that. So I'm sure that you have actually heard of this term called the big fish lah. Okay, and some of you have maybe also heard of, the big fish is trying to shake out the small investor. Okay, so this is exactly what they are actually doing. The big players are actually doing. So before they actually push the market even higher, what they do is basically they push the price lower. Okay, they created the selling pressure. So some of you, okay, probably because of the massive drop, you become scared and then you cut off your position. And immediately what happened when the price become cheaper, they went in to buy aggressively and then they push it up even higher. That's how they also make money. So can you see it happened many, many times already? Okay, so like I said, the next time if the market, like I said, drop for a few days, okay, don't over panic. Okay, don't over panic. Okay, look for the orange line. Look for the orange line. In fact, okay, if you see that it touches the orange line and the next day the market bounce up higher, that is actually a very, very good opportunity for you to jump in. Okay, so now that you know the secret, okay, the next time this happens, I'm pretty sure that you guys would actually be happy, okay, when the stock market drop. All right, so this is for the S&P 500. Of course, for the Dow Jones, it's a little bit more harder to see lah, because of the it is very concentrated in just the 30 companies. So some of the companies, the larger company like Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, actually pretty much they have all announced really, really good result in the quarterly earnings. Of course, Amazon, despite the good result, but because of some forecasts, the guidance is a bit lower, so there was a big dip. But none other than the less, I would say that all these big companies, the big giants, they are doing super well, okay, in the post-COVID situation. So same thing, I do foresee that the market is going to go up even higher. Same for the Dow Jones. And last but not least, the tech sector, it has actually gone up, much higher lah. So as it has gone up quite a fair bit as compared to the S&P as well as the Dow Jones. So if there is any fluctuation, if there's any dip, okay, again, don't have to be overly worried. All right. Just look for opportunities to jump in lah. Okay, yeah, I do foresee that the Nasdaq will continue to travel even higher in a post-COVID world. Okay, yeah. So as you can see, my expectation of the market has not changed. I still see that in the short run, it's definitely bullish. There could be some volatility, but that's totally normal. In fact, if the market drop, there could be some short-term opportunity for us to go in. But midterm, I would say it's definitely still bullish as well lah. So what are some of the opportunities ahead? So instead of giving you some of the short-term, analysis, what I'm going to share with you some of the opportunities is actually more of a mid to long-term view. Okay, that I feel that is actually pretty undervalued in current context. So the first one is actually Walmart. Okay, the first one is actually Walmart. I'm sure you guys are familiar with Walmart. They are the largest, I would say, can I say groceries? Okay, retailers, like one of the largest retailers and groceries in the US. Okay, so they are a bit like our NTUC lah. Okay, our Sheng Siong. Of course, they are way larger lah. They sell a lot more things. So what happened is that, right? Okay, one of the thing about retailer in the past is that they are having the risk of being overtaken by people like Amazon. Okay, where everybody goes online and things like that. But what happened is that we have actually seen how companies like Walmart has also converted into e-commerce, and of course with COVID, pretty much they have to adapt to it lah. And they're actually doing extremely well in terms of adapting into the e-commerce. In fact, Walmart, right, in terms of the system, they are actually having a very, very good system that they're actually selling their system to some of the smaller retailers out there. Okay, so that's something that I would say is really, really amazing. So of course, based on the earnings, you can also see that in a COVID world, actually more people are buying groceries lah, because everybody is staying at home. So instead of eating out, okay, so the restaurant sector is definitely getting a hit. Okay, but the groceries area is actually doing way better than pre-COVID. I would say that Walmart is also one of the huge benefactor, okay, of COVID, and we know that COVID is definitely not going to disappear in a short period of time. It's definitely here to stay for some time. Right, so I do see that at current pricing for Walmart, it is actually very, very attractive lah, as well as you can see the trend is actually heading back up. So yeah, this is the first opportunity that I wanted to share with you. And the second company, I think I have shared it quite some time ago, but I haven't been talking about it for a bit of time. And that is actually Apple. Okay, so for the Apple supporter, if you're an Apple supporter, can you just type in Apple? So previously Apple has finally, okay, like I said, I entered previously at this small circle over here. So of course there was a bit of time, it went down, finally went up. All right, so it took a little bit of time before it starts to before my position actually turned profitable lah. Okay, so of course right now it is profitable, but like I said, right now it has actually broken the all-time high. Like I said, there's a strong resistance at the top green line over there, and it is higher. So that is, of course, a good sign that there's actually more upside to come. And recently, they also announced their earnings. So again, we don't have the fluctuation coming from the earnings. And, if you look at the earnings, super good earnings. Despite that, the price actually dropped. So for those of you who have yet to take a bite of the apple, okay, yeah, please do take a bite of the apple. Yeah, as you can see, the apple, yeah, there's a bite, right? So if you haven't take a bite, please go and take a bite lah. It's meant for you to bite. That's why you can see the curve shape. All right, so yeah, Apple, I would say, is something that will continue to grow. I think they are growing at about 30% on a year-to-year basis. And the take-up rate for their iPad is super good. Their take-up rate for their wearables, the Apple Watch, is like crazy. Apple Watch is like the second biggest revenue generator for the company, okay, behind the iPhone. And of course, with the 5G that is being widespread, being used more and more openly, a lot of people are actually converting their old iPhone into the 5G. So if you have been using like the 4G phone, okay, maybe you'll be like, I think I still can use my 4G because, I mean, it's still doing well. But what happened as more and more people converted to 5G and this become more and more commonly used, naturally for you is you also want to upgrade lah. So yeah. So because of that, I would say that the sales of iPhone has also went up tremendously. But one thing that I personally love the most, okay, or rather the two things that I love the most is number one is the iPad. Sorry, not the iPad. It's actually their MacBook. Okay, their Mac lineup lah. Okay, I would say that the new chip that they have is revolutionary. Okay, for those of you who have bought a Mac recently, you will understand the battery life. Okay, just to let you know, the battery life of a Mac right now is easily about 15 hours or more. Okay, 15 hours or more on a MacBook. And the spec is literally, even if you buy the lowest end MacBook Air, the lowest end, the spec is almost like the top 10% of the other brands. Okay, or I would say maybe even the top 5% in terms of the specification, the processor. So super fast, super long hour, and super nice lah. Okay. Yeah, you all can go and check out the spec lah. Watch some YouTube video. I think there's a lot on that. Okay, so as more and more people jump into this ecosystem, so let's say if you are not an iPhone user, but then because of the MacBook, you can buy the MacBook. I would say after some time, I guarantee you you will actually go and buy some of their other items. Okay, maybe you will start with the AirPod, and then you will start with the Apple Watch, and then you will actually go for their iPhone subsequently. And what happened once you're in their ecosystem, you start to pay for their services as well. Like Apple Music, like iTunes, so there are a lot of things that they're actually able to collect money on the revenue. That's where their services payment actually comes in. So this is something that Apple is also building very, very strongly on. Okay, and they are actually doing extremely well in that as well. So you can see in terms of the next 5 to 10 years or even the next 15 years, I would say that Apple will still continue to grow at a very, very high, okay, a double-digit growth rate. So I do foresee that, based on my personal calculation, to double the share price in about 3 years is pretty much doable. Okay, so I do see that in about 3 years, the share price is about, based on my forecast, is about $300 over based on my numbers. Okay, so this is for Apple. So again, like I said, this is a long-term play. Okay, not like you buy today, you sell next week. Okay, that's not what we are doing over here. Yeah, exactly. Like what Celine said, the MacBook is much cheaper now also. So cheaper and better. Yeah, that's the best, right? Okay, and last but not least, okay, this is something very, very, very interesting. Okay, this is NIO. NIO is the EV company, one of the China EV company. Okay, so why personally I choose NIO? Okay, of course, I love Tesla as well. Okay, but I know Tesla share price is a little bit on the higher side. So for those of you who love Tesla, yes, you can buy Tesla. I do see that current price right now is a good time to buy. Okay, but for those of you with a slightly smaller budget, okay, and if you're looking for something with maybe there's more runway to run, okay, NIO, I would say at current price of $45, 44.68 is pretty attractive. Again, like I said, this is a very pretty much mid-term to long-term play. And of course, some of you might be aware that the earnings is also coming. So NIO will be announcing their earnings on the 11th of August. That is in about 10 days time. So one of the reason I would say that for me is also, this is also a little bit of a earnings play. I do foresee that, the upcoming earnings will be a good earnings for NIO. Okay, based on the take-up rate of electric vehicle throughout, the different countries. Of course, majority, this is still coming from the China market. But even in many other parts of the country, like in the US, you can see that the government is really, I would say they are pushing for electric vehicles. They are pushing for electric vehicles. Even if you look at, countries like Korea, some of the brands in Korea like Hyundai and even Kia, recently I was just looking at some cars, then I realized that, wow, actually like Kia and Hyundai, pretty much their new model, right, is all fully electric. So you know that they are actually already, they know that this is coming, okay, and I would say that they are ready. They are ready. So more and more of the traditional combustion engine company, okay, they are already forced to take up electric or even move to electric already. And of course, with the recent Tesla launch and some of the cars, in terms of the specification, this is something that we want. Okay, a faster car a safer car at a fraction of the current car prices. So that's exactly what Tesla is able to offer, and of course some of the other electric car is able to offer better specification at a lower price, just like the MacBook. So you can see this is really because of the technology leap. So I would say that again, EV, this is something that will continue to grow over the years. So at the current price point, again, if you're looking at it a couple of years down the road, I would say that this is definitely a bargain. Okay, this is definitely a bargain. All right, so this will be the few companies that I'll be sharing today. First is Walmart, second is Apple, the third one is actually NIO. Okay, so again, these are companies that do hold them for a long period of time, and you will actually reap the reward in times to come. Okay, these are also the company that will help you to generate your 15% every single year. So very, very important. Okay, yeah, so pretty much I've come to the end of my sharing for today. So I want to have maybe about 5 to 10 minutes to answer any of the questions that you guys actually have. So yes, please do stay on, and if you have any question, type it inside the chat. Right, for those of you who have just came in, okay, do help us to like and share. Okay, that will really help us to keep this market watch going, so that more and more people will be able to see this and will be able to benefit from this. Right, so yes, this is the key topic for today. How to achieve financial freedom in 10 years. So if you miss the front part of this, don't worry, it's actually all inside our Facebook Ultimate Investing, or you can go to our YouTube as well. It's also over there. Yes, right now, anybody has any question, please do post it inside the chat. All right, and then I'll be able to link it up. Okay, what about Costco versus Walmart? Okay, yeah, I actually didn't do the comparison. Okay, so this one, after I do the comparison, I let you know. Okay, but I have actually take a look at the, okay, since I haven't take a look, let me check it out right now. Okay, I think we can also learn from how I look at it. So when we want to look at two companies, okay, within the same industry, we want to see which one is better. There's actually this one metrics that is super important. Okay, there's one metrics that is super important. Okay, so first let's go to Walmart and let's take a look at Costco. Sorry, let's take a look at Walmart first. Let's look at the numbers. Okay, so you can see, if you ask me interesting question, I will give you exciting and interesting result also. Okay, something that is important. Okay, so if you want to compare two companies within the same industry, which one is better that is able to convert revenue into profit? Okay, I remember turning revenue into profit is very, very important for a company. You have to look at the net margin. Okay, net margin. So you can see for Walmart, the net margin of this company over the years is about 3. Okay, and then now it came down to about 2 so about 2 to 3%. Okay, this is for Walmart. And let's take a look at Costco. Okay, actually, first of all, I'm not sure if Costco is listed or not. Okay, it is . That's good. Okay, so this is Costco. So yeah, you can see Costco has 795 stores. Okay, let's take a look. Okay, let's take a look at Costco net margin. Okay, you can see that, okay, Costco actually used to be like 1 point something, 2. Okay, 2.5. Okay, so the good thing is, can you see that for Costco, if you just look at Costco on its own, I would say that they are actually doing quite well. You can see that the margin is increasing. So this shows that the company is actually becoming more and more efficient. So you can also see in terms of the earnings. Okay, in terms of the earnings, can you see it is improving? So on its own, I would say is doing quite well also. If you were ask me to compare between Walmart and Costco, based on number, okay, maybe I would say that Costco will win. Okay, Costco will win because they are becoming better. So which means that now they are 2.5. Okay, maybe the next round they'll be like 2.7, then they become 3. Okay, whereas for Walmart, you can see they used to be 3, but then now it's like kind of dropping to about 2. Okay, so let's take a look at Costco in terms of the charting, since we are also looking at chart. I mean, we don't want to just look at one view. Costco. Okay. So can you see this is a great company, right? So for a great company, can you see that the share price is just like going to the moon? okay, going to the moon. So I would say that yes, this is a great company, but right now there is no opportunity to enter lah. There's no opportunity to enter, right? So if I were to enter previously, I'll enter somewhere around this area where there is actually this drop. All right, but right now you can see no opportunity lah. Let's not chase after the stock. Okay, another company that I've been looking at is actually Target lah. Okay, it's also doing extremely well. Okay, as you can see, again, no opportunity to buy on. The share price just keep going higher and higher. So for us, we do not chase after the stock price. All right, we do not chase after the stock price. Pretty much in terms of valuation, both are overvalued. So let's wait for a correction to happen before we jump in. So thanks, Linda, for asking this question. What is your view, TA view on DT? DT is what, Donald Trump? Oh, okay. No. It's Dynatrace. Okay, yes, great company. Okay, yeah, this is a relatively new company lah. So in terms of the data, it's a little bit limited. Okay, but like I said, okay, right now no entry. What I will do is I'll wait for it to pull back. Okay, before I enter. So I haven't looked at I mean, this is just based on technical lah. Okay, for me, I will not chase after the price right now lah. I'll wait for it to pull back before I will enter. Right, that's my view for DT. BT rising almost 10 days. What your view? Got pullback to go in. Wow. I hope I can answer this question, but great question. Okay, this is on Bitcoin. I have not covered that. So like I said, Bitcoin is traveling within. Yes, I do see that some of you say that, wow, I think it's going to go up even higher. But personally, for me, right now, it is at the resistance area. So for me, I will not enter yet. Okay, because what I'm looking out for is actually either it could go up or it could come down lah. Okay, remember the last time I showed you when Bitcoin went sideways? Okay, I think that was quite some time ago. Let me see if I can find. Okay, yeah. The last time Bitcoin went sideways, right, during this period of time. Okay, this whole sideways took about, I don't know, let me show you a very, very long term. Okay, you all can't see, but actually this is Feb 2018. This is October 2020. 2.5 years, the market was just like sideways. Okay, so then after that, of course, when the market has been consolidating for a long period of time, right, then the power like stored energy, store very long already, right, then bam, okay, then you can see fly to the moon. So after this huge run up, okay, now it kind of consolidate again. I will not be eager to rush in as of now. That's my personal take lah. Okay, I will really see if it can break this price area. Let it go higher first. I would say if it goes higher, it's a good time to jump in. But I do see that, with this huge run up, it could go ding dong for some more time lah. It's still not too long. Okay, only ding dong for how long? From May until July, 2 months only. Still got many months to go. So let it continue to ding dong lah. Okay, don't jump in first. At least for now lah. If it go up, maybe I will change my view. But for now, I will say that it could come down also 50-50 lah. Yes, thank you so much, Jackson. When you mention long term, are you advocating holding the stock? Cost option have expiry? Yes and no. Okay, yes. Number one, you can hold stock. That will be, of course, for people who are new, who don't know about option. Yeah, just hold stock lah. Okay, for those who know how to do option, okay, you can go for relatively longer option, at least 1 year. At least 1 year. That's the take lah. Yep. Got GC. Okay, yeah, but I personally will look at this more than the GC lah. That's for me lah. That's for me. Okay. So I hope I answered Jackson question. All right. I think we have answered all the question already. Okay. So I hope that this additional bonus has been beneficial for all of you. Okay. I hope you are learning something from today's session as well. So perfect. We are 55 minutes to 5 more minutes to 10 o'clock lah. So wow, last question. Okay, last question. I think this question very exciting. Very exciting. Okay, coming from Fred. Is it still risky to buy China stock like Baba, Baidu? When do you think situation will stabilize? Okay, it will never stabilize lah. I mean that's a fact lah. The first one is, of course, China regulation is normal. Okay, especially for big company. Like Alibaba, Tencent, they have already been regulated. Okay, so right now the most recent one is the education sector, but sadly because of that news, okay, the big company also got affected lah. Okay, yeah, of course, TT is also one of the latest one to get regulated. But I would say that Alibaba and Tencent already got regulated, so don't expect the government to regulate them again. It's like, how do I say that? It's like I already give you a fine, and then for nothing I fine you again. Cannot be lah. Okay, they kind of close case already. So once case closed is case closed. Okay, and now they're targeting another area, but because everybody link everything together, I do see that for Tencent and Alibaba, pretty much the regulatory side has subsided. Okay, has subsided. But we also have to understand that right now US is like trying to retaliate. It's like, wow, you keep finding trouble with all this, right? Then you are playing with the stock market, you know, then all the China company in the US stock keep dropping, and the US also want to do some pattern. They also say, I'm going to block all your China company, don't let them come in. So you never know what the US will do. Maybe they'll say that, now I'll kick all your China company out. Also possible. Okay, so again, there will also be maybe some regulatory risk from the US side. But I think this will continue for a long time. Okay, especially when now the big two bigger player is China and US lah. So they have to see who is the big boss ma, you know. So there will always be this kind of fight ongoing. But okay, like I said, end of the day, very importantly is still your risk management. Okay, your risk management. So for example, if your whole portfolio, everything is in China company, I would say your risk is super high lah. Okay, I would say your risk is super high. But if let's say you have not entered yet, okay, I think it is a good opportunity to enter. Personally, I still think it is a good opportunity to enter at the current price point, even better. Okay, but I would say that maybe you limit your risk, your risk exposure to China stock up to 20%, okay, of your entire portfolio. So I don't know how big is your portfolio lah. I mean, if you have 50,000, maybe you just allocate about $10,000 maximum risk exposure to all this China stock. Then the rest invest in the US stock lah. All right. Or if you want, you can also invest in the Hong Kong listed one. I mean, some of you might be scared lah. Those in the US might have even more side effect. Maybe I invest in the Hong Kong side is slightly safer. Yeah, in a certain way, slightly safer lah. Okay. So yeah lah, you could invest in Hong Kong, but still limit your risk exposure long. I think that is always the key when it comes to investing lah. Know your risk lah. All right. With that, I would say that I hope I have answered your question. So I hope I've answered all of your questions. So anyway, great to see all of you. Wow, today we have about 80 of you. Okay, despite Olympic, okay, I know that this is not as exciting as Olympic. There's no 100-meter race over here. But I'm glad to see all of you still here. So next week, remember, next week we have the part 2 of today's sharing. So make sure that you join me next Sunday at 9 p.m. and then I will show you how to generate that 15%. Okay, the science of generating 15% a year, not the art. Art is something that, some people can see, some people cannot see, but science is something that can be explained one. Okay, so I explained to you the science behind generating 15% on a yearly basis. All right, with that, thanks everyone for joining me tonight. I'll see you next week. Most importantly, everybody, please stay safe, invest safe. We still got 2 more weeks before we can get out. Yeah, so if everybody stay at home, don't go out, I'm sure that we can go out 2 weeks later lah. Okay, looking forward to that as well. Okay, so thanks everyone. Stay safe, invest safe, and I'll see you guys next week.